This is a topic that's actually very hard for me also, right? It's the idea of falling in love with the journey. It's so hard to do, but it just sounds so good. But it's so violent and so essential. It's cat on my lap. But first things first, why the journey matters more than the destination, right? So most people focus on the end goal, but real growth happens within the process. So the real growth, as we all know, nothing changes, everything changes is what they say. So if you're not making changes and you're not elevating your lifestyle or doing something differently, you're not growing. So that's the real growth. The real growth happens within the process. There is no growth once you get to the destination. When you get to where you want to go, there is no more growing for real. You just kind of accomplish the thing that you've been wanting to accomplish, and nothing else kind of comes after that. The destination will constantly shift once you reach the goal. There's always another one. The moment you get to the goal, there's always going to be another goal that you're going to want to achieve, or another thing that you feel is more important than the goal you just overcame and surpassed. So it's going to constantly continue to shift, or it should at least constantly continue to shift. You shouldn't get to a goal or a destination and be like, oh yeah, this is all I needed. I'm good now. I'm content with everything. You need to be able to shift and create a new destination or a new goal for you to continue to move forward. Unless you start creating your little milestones, stuff like that, to connect as you continue going, right? Enjoying the journey helps you prevent burnout and disappointment. This is so hard for me because it's hard for me to prevent burnout because I always burn out. Okay, and I always burn out, and I get disappointed because I burned out. I'm like, bro, I want to just work a little bit harder. Like, why I can't keep going? Why I can't keep working hard? I want to keep working hard. Why? Like, and I get mad at myself because I'm like, damn, I want to work harder. I want to keep going, but I physically can't because my body doesn't allow me to because I'm burnt. So when you kind of disassociate yourself from that path of grind, and maybe you pull yourself back, like I tell you guys, and you actually just like open your eyes up and look at to where you are, and doing a hobby or something that you actually love will help you prevent burnout, right? It will help you rest. It will help you think. It will help you recoup so that when it's time to get back into the flow of everything, it'll be a lot easier for you to do so. Right? So 2, embracing these struggles and challenges, right? Struggles will shape you into the person that you need to become. Oh, maybe not the person that you want to become, but struggles will shape you into the person that you need to become, not the person that you want to become. Failure is not a setback. It is a lesson to reframe obstacles as opportunities, right? So failure is not a setback. It's just a lesson, because now you know what not to do. Now you know exactly what didn't work. And you have to reframe your mindset to stop looking at it as failure and to stop looking at it as an obstacle and look at it as an opportunity. Now I have the opportunity for change. Now I messed up, yeah, but now I can take the information that I learned and I can apply it to how can I do something better next, right? If you got everything that you wanted overnight, you would not appreciate it the same way. If everything that you wanted, you got right now, like I tell you guys, if you get to that destination super fast, you're not going to appreciate it. You're not going to appreciate the destination. You're not going to appreciate the journey that it took to get there because it happened tomorrow. And another thing too is you're not going to know how to keep it. If it took you 3 to 4 years to get to a destination, you're going to appreciate it so much more because the amount of time that it took you to get there. If you get there tomorrow, you're not going to appreciate it and you're not going to know how to keep it. You know how they say I could F it up and I can get it back? That's the thing. That's where it takes. You have to put that grind and put that time in, and it takes time. It's about the long race, because then you'll know how to get it back. You can get it back 10 times faster because it took you 4 or 5 years to get to that destination. If you got it tomorrow, that could have just been luck. You might have been one of those 1% people who just get luck, you know what I'm saying, who get lucky. So you have to do that in order for you to be able to appreciate it, right? The power is in the small wins, right? Recognizing and celebrating small wins will build momentum. So for this week, like, I finished these edits. Oh my gosh, yeah. Like, I'm happy that I finished these edits. I finished a YouTube video. I finished, you know what I'm saying, the wedding. There's certain things that I finished this week that are micro accomplishments that will help me gain those small wins. You rack up those small wins, you get miniature boost of dopamine right there, and grabbing your phone and being like, oh my God, have you a to-do list or a checklist or an accomplishments list for you to check off once those things are done, so that you can start accumulating those small wins. It feels so good to just cross off something off your to-do list or your goal list. It feels good, right? Progress compounds over time, even when it feels slow. So over time, the progress that you make is going to all go towards something. Even if it feels like it's slow progress, slow motion better than no motion, slow progress better than no progress. So it's all about progression and not perfection. So the more that you're working towards something, every percent that you're putting into this thing daily will all invest into one thing. It's kind of like the stock market. You're constantly putting 1%, 1%, 1%, or you're making 1% gains, like compound interest. The more that you compound onto that number, right, the more money that will come into that back end. The more that you compound onto that journey or onto that process or onto that goal, the more likely you are to get it. It's like the more shots you take, the higher your percentage of wins is going to be. The more shots you take. If you play Call of Duty, your kill to death ratio is going to continue to go up or down depending on the amount of shots you continue to make, right? And the amount of kills or you accumulate, right? So it's like a ratio, right? So document your journey, having journals, videos, whether it's social media, however it is, it will help you see how far that you've come. One thing that I can say for myself for a fact is that documenting my journey is the best thing I've ever done. Being able to document your journey will help you appreciate your journey, because now in those days that you feel down and you feel lost and you don't know what you're doing, you can go back and watch your old videos. You can go back and look at these old photos in your photo album. You can go back and see exactly how far you've come. You can look at the dates. You can look at the times. What was my mindset in? Where was my head at? You know what I'm saying? When I did this, when I did this video, when I created this, how was I talking? This is exactly why I document today, because I want to be able to talk to 40-year-old myself later on and see exactly how far I've come. Like, damn, look at where I came. I found documenting my life to be my purpose. I found documenting my life to be my way of inspiring the next generation and others. For me, there was nobody here for me to pave a way and document their life to show me that things were possible. So why can't I be that person for someone else or for the next generation or for those people? And why not you? Why not you be somebody that can document their life to be able to help others be able to elevate their life? Right? So why not be that person for someone else, for a younger generation, or for even if somebody that's older, but for those that come after you into your space and into your industry, be the person that can document their life and show them that these things are possible and that anything is possible, right? The importance of patience and consistency. This one big. I love consistency, right? Mastery takes time. Overnight success is a myth, like I just told y'all. Focusing on daily habits rather than immediate results. Focus on the habits that are needed to become the person that you want to become, rather than focusing on the immediate success. Focus on the things that you can control. You control what you control. You can't control how successful you become, but you can control the habits that you do. You can track your habits. You can control the characteristics and traits that you have as an individual to be able to become that future person and that future version of yourself who deserves the things that you want right now, right? Consistency beats motivation, and discipline is key. Consistency is great. Discipline is that boy. All right. Discipline is doing it when even you don't want to do it. Consistency is just showing up. You're showing up every single day, showing up. You might not be putting in the same amount of effort, but you're showing up at least. Then you convert that into discipline, right? Where you're showing up every single day, but you're also putting in the same amount of effort that you know you need to be doing. Like whether that's 100%, 99%, 75%, every single day you put in the same amount because you know you owe it to yourself, right? That's that discipline that's needed, all right? That's a necessity for growth. That's a necessity, all right? Finding joy in the process. This is a hard one. I try to do it myself a lot, but it is very hard. All right. So shifting your mindset from I have to do this thing, oh man, to I get to do this thing. I got to do this thing. Like I love to do this thing, right? So kind of shifting that negative connotation to positive connotation. Romanticize the process. Find beauty in the daily grind. So live by the day, basically. I try to push myself to live by the day and plan by the day rather than trying to plan out months and ahead of time, because you can't control those things. You can't control what happens next week. You can't control what happens next month. You can't control what happens next year, but you can't control what happens today and tomorrow. You can't really control what happens tomorrow, but you can control what happens today. You can control how your day goes today, but you can plan out for tomorrow. You can plan out for the next few weeks. You maybe make some bullet points for the week, but instead of creating a full drawn out plan and potentially discouraging yourself because things don't usually always go to plan, create some bullet points of things that you want to get done and get finished, and that would be great. And then plan the day. So plan the night before. Plan tomorrow tonight for you to be able to get up and know exactly what you're going to be doing. You're going to get up. You're going to love getting up because you know exactly what you need to knock off that to-do list. You know exactly what you're going to be doing, right? So you need to be real with yourself. Create tasks that are actually achievable, right? Create tasks that make you reach your hand, but reach a little bit further, that are actually achievable rather than you doing a task that's not even achievable, right? So also Gratitude changes everything. You have to appreciate where you are in order to make the journey fulfilling. You have to appreciate where you are currently, appreciate how far you have came, appreciate the things you have done, appreciate the lives that you have touched, appreciate the impact that you are making within your industry, right? Appreciate these things in order for you to get exactly what you want out of life. Right? Avoid comparison. This one's hard. It's very hard because social media makes it very hard, right? Social media makes it so hard. It's called imposter syndrome, where you feel like you're not doing the right thing because you're constantly looking at other people and seeing what they're doing. So now you feel like you're an imposter within your own body, right? And social media can make it very easy for you to compare yourself, but everyone's path is different. You have to continue to remind that your blueprint is your blueprint and you're on your own path. Your yellow brick road is different from somebody else's yellow brick road because your yellow got a different tint to it. All right. You got that gold on your shit. They got that orange. You know what I'm saying? Different tint to it. Right. So focus on your own progress instead of someone else's highlight reel. We already know what the vibes of highlight reel is, right? Timing is unique to each person. What's meant for you is meant for you, and it won't miss you. Meaning that if somebody else blew up overnight and it took them 2 weeks, that don't mean it's gonna take you 2 weeks. It might take you a year, cuh. It might take you 2 years, cuh. Just because it took them 1 week or 2 weeks, you're on your own path, and that's the one thing I gotta continue to tell myself. I'm on my own path. This is my unique journey. This is my unique experience. This is my unique life experience. I can't compare my life experience and my journey to that of someone else's, when in reality, we are not the same person. All right. You guys are different backgrounds, different stories, different physical makeups, right? You guys have different situations that you're in. You guys have different family members. LOL. You guys were dealt different cards. So you can't even compare yourself to those people. Right. And learning to pivot without guilt. It's a big one. Learning to pivot without guilt, man. Sometimes the journey may take an unexpected turn, and that's okay. Be flexible and open to change, right? You have to also not be afraid to evolve, not be afraid to change. Because everybody be afraid when people be like, man, you done changed up on me. You had to, though. The only way nothing changes if nothing changes. So if everybody getting mad at you for changing, then how the hell are you supposed to change? How is your life supposed to change? How are you supposed to elevate your situation? How are you supposed to better yourself? Because nothing changes if nothing changes. If you're not willing to change anything, then that means nothing's going to change. So don't be afraid when people say, man, you changed up. Yes, I did, for the better. I did, for the better. For the better for yourself as an individual, right? Let go of the old version of yourself, right? It no longer serves you or your growth. You have to let go of that version of yourself, right? And it's hard, man, because the way that people view you, and you're like, damn, I thought I'm still him. I'm still that person. You're not, bro. You're a whole new person, right? You have to let go of that version of yourself because it no longer serves you, right? And finally, right, you have to fall in love with the version of yourself that you want to be and the version of yourself that you're becoming. If you can't fall in love with the version of yourself that you want to be and the version of yourself that you're becoming, none of this will matter. You have to envision that future self, right? You have to envision your future self as a physical person, and you have to do all the things that are needed for him or her life, right? To be able to come to fruition, to be able to come to pass, to be able to happen, right? So all the traits that they have, you need to be able to embody those now. What are the traits that my physical person has? What does he do? What time does he wake up? What does he eat? What's his nutrition look like? When does he work out? You know what I'm saying? Does he run? Does he do jump ropes? What is he doing? How does he work? What brands is he working with? What are the things that he's doing? This all roots back into manifestation as well. You know, manifesting and creating that environment of the life that you want to pursue, right? You have to be able to embody that person in order for you to actually grow and develop as an individual, right? It all starts with the inside, it all starts with the mindset, right? The goal isn't to just achieve the things, right? It's to become the version of yourself that's willing to have access to these things and to achieve these things, right? You have to become the best version of yourself. The process is what builds character, resilience, and fulfillment. Resilience is important, man. Resilience is important. You need to have that self-fulfillment. If you fall in love with the journey, the success will become inevitable. If you can fall in love with the path that you're on, the success will simply be inevitable simply because it will be an everlasting journey. You will constantly be elevating throughout, right? So it's very hard for you to get off track when you're falling in love with the track that you're on. You can't get off of the track if you're falling in love with the track that you're on. So that's the word of the day, you guys. Fall in love with the journey. This is how to fall in love with the journey. It's very hard to do, but it's very essential for you to do. We don't understand the idea that we all have a destination in mind, right? You can have this destination in mind, but when you get to that destination, you're going to always want more and you're going to always look for something else. That's why it's not good for you to have a physical goal, like something that's tangible, a tangible goal. Like, I'm going to get this car. I'm going to make this amount of money. I'm going to make this amount of revenue. I'm going to get to this point. I'm going to get this gear. I'm going to get this, that. Because when you get that thing, your mind is immediately going to shift and go, what's next? And if you didn't already have a plan for what's next, you won't know what's next. Like, you're literally going to just be like at a standstill to a point where it's like, damn, I didn't get that far in my thoughts, or I didn't expect myself to get here this fast, or I didn't expect this plan, that I was planning to do to actually work. And it's like you get there and now you're looking at yourself like, what's next? So there's beauty in falling in love with the journey. There's beauty in the creating. There's beauty in everything that in the process. Because once you get to where you want to be, everything will change. Everything will shift and it won't be as exciting anymore. The moment that you stop falling in love, the moment that you stop the journey and stop, like, the journey can be seen as multiple things, right? So for me, the journey is the path to the success that I see, or the path to the impact that I want to inflict onto the world, the path to the vision that I have for the community that I'm looking to build, and all of the tasks that it takes for me to do in order to achieve that goal, or to get that way of life shown and promoted to everybody. Because I want everybody to be the hardest workers in their industry. I want everybody to, push to be the best version of themselves for real. And that's an everlasting goal. That goal never ends. So I will always have a journey for me to be able to follow, I will always be able to be of service to you guys. I will always be able to do that because that doesn't have an end goal. It's not like, oh, I'm going to do all of these things so I can make so much money so I can get a Lamborghini. It's like those things aren't important to me. I've never been a tangible materialistic person. So I feel like when you create a goal that is materialistic based, or something that is physical, it's very hard to reach for more. It's very hard to surpass those goals because the thing that you're looking for is physical and it's materialistic, and it's not something that's deeper within you, yourself, and your purpose. So you have to fall in love with the process of doing the thing rather than the thing itself. And I'm saying this to you guys, but I'm also speaking to me because I'm still learning it. I don't really know what I have to do to kind of make it click in my mind that content creation is a real job. And I feel like with me, that's the journey that I'm trying to fall in love with. That's the journey that I'm trying to understand, is like I constantly keep pushing myself aside and beating myself down because I keep trying to tell myself that this is real. This is real. This is real. Like it's possible. I know people who've done it. I've seen people who've done it. I've seen these things. I've experienced these things. So I know it's possible. So why can't it just click in my mind that, bro, this can be a job. This can pay all of your bills. This can do that thing. And it's like, I feel like that's that last part of myself that doesn't really, trust myself, or doesn't believe that this is a part of the journey. Or maybe I don't feel like I'm worthy of it. Maybe I don't feel like I'm deserving of it. And that sometimes that's what happens too. Like maybe you're in your own way, and you don't know it. Maybe you're in your own way and you don't even know it. And you don't understand the journey that you're on. So you're not able to appreciate the journey that you're on, because there's so many different factors that happen daily that you might not be able to notice because you're so focused on the destination and the end goal, so that you belittle everything else that kind of comes in your path before you get to that destination. So you don't even really take the time to sit, think, and be present on where you're at, and to be appreciative on where you're at, to be able to see damn, I've come far, I've got somewhere, I've done some things, I've impacted some lives, I've created, I've created a platform for others. I've created a community for people to be able to join and be able to grow and help each other daily. I never really be able to take the time to really sit and think back, and it's because you're so focused on the end goal. You're so focused on grinding to get that one thing, or to prove that one person wrong, or to do that thing that younger you wanted. And it's hard because you're constantly grinding for this one thing that you just know it's so possible for you to be able to do it, or you see others and you're like, why them and why not me? I'm not working hard enough. I got to work harder. So you're pushing it more and more. And you're pushing it more and more and more. And you're constantly forgetting about the journey, forgetting that it takes time, forgetting that a lot of the people that blow up overnight are 1%ers. Like, there's a lot of people who blow up overnight and it took them forever to get to the point to be able to blow up overnight, or to be able to get that, and to be able to get the thing that they deserve, you know? So it's hard, man. It's crazy. And it's like you have to be able to identify the time and place where it's needed for you to grind, and for you to take the time to sit back and think and establish where you're at and understand where you're at and appreciate where you're at and appreciate the journey and the path that you're on to be able to keep going. As you guys can see, Casper does not want to leave me alone. He's like, bro, keep rubbing me. And I'm trying to, but I'm trying to like give you guys this. I'm trying to give you guys this. I'm trying to give you guys this talk at the same time. And he's just like so forcive. But I have a few bullet points. I'm going to go over them for you guys. I'm going to try to help you guys as well as myself fall in love with the journey and find the journey and find the path that we're looking to be on, and how can we do this, you know, and understanding why the journey matters and understanding the importance of it itself. So let me know down below, what do you guys think? How are you falling in love with the journey? What mental things do you do for yourself to help with your mental health? What are some practices? Do you read? Do you take time by yourself? Do you go on walks? Do you run? Do you work out? What do you do? Let's have a conversation in the comments. Join the Discord, you guys. We're all helping each other out there, just trying to become 1% better every single day. The link's going to be down below. And yeah, until next time, taxi.